Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes, and Scottish Labour are absolutely cacking their pants. There's going to be a whole series of mini referendums on Labour's policies so far to date, and they're not expected to go down very well, especially, of course, the reduction of the winter fuel allowance. All these little council by-elections caused by councillors being uplifted into the House of Commons. And of course, all these newly elected MPs left that little vacuum that has to be filled, but it's unlikely it's going to be filled with Labour MPs. Unfortunately, of course, the SNP are going to do quite well, probably, which is not good, but it does at least concentrate the mind of the Labour Party in Scotland. And Sarwar is in a very awkward position. He cannot be seen to be going against the policies of the government because it's his same party, and yet he knows those same policies are going to destroy him and his party in Scotland at the local elections, and very likely as well come 2026. It's all up in the air and it isn't looking good. Now, MSPs and MPs, I suppose, as well as local councillors, they're all feeling the anger on the streets from each and every person. Everyone's angry. I can't think more than a few percent of people up and down the country are in any way positive about this particular cut. I mean, the irony is in Scotland, of course, it isn't Labour who's cut it. The SNP have made that decision, but they are blaming Labour. And what's funny as well is the people are blaming Labour. The SNP have really pulled a blinder here. They've cut the budget. They've cut that payment. And Labour are getting blamed for it. You've got to say, from a purely political point of view, well played, SNP. And it's not often you say that. But, purely as a political game, well done. If you can get away with shit like that, well done. It's not often, is it? But, of course, the main political loser in Scotland is Sarwar. It's not Keir Starmer, because that election's done and dusted, and there's nothing that's going to damage Keir Starmer in Scotland for years to come. Not that he'll be there in years to come, of course. So he doesn't care. But Sarwar does. He's the current leader, and it's all of a sudden becoming very, very awkward for him. There's a lot of a lot of Labour backbenchers in Holyrood who are now getting itchy sphincters, because they know that come 2026, they're likely not to be there. There's a lot of councillors up and down the whole of Scotland going, ooh, it isn't going to be good. It's not going to be good for these by-elections. It's certainly not going to be good come the county elections next year. And, of course, it's nothing Sarwar could do. He cannot soften the blow. All he can do is mouth pointless platitudes and say, well, we'll try to do this, and it's an important decision, and blah, blah, blah. But nobody is listening to him. He's become meaningless. He's become irrelevant. And for a politician, that's absolutely the worst thing you can be. Be hated, be loved, be loathed, be treated like a king. It doesn't matter. But to become irrelevant, now that burns. But what do you do? The whole of Scottish Labour were blindsided by this cut. They're blindsided by everything, because obviously Sarwar is never consulted. Whatever goes on in Westminster, Starmer doesn't even consult his own cabinet, let's be honest. He just goes, right, we'll do this. It's just him and Reeves and Sue Gray will go, right, how can we screw Britain today? Bang, we'll do this. Bang, we'll do that. And so, nobody's consulted, nobody knows, and it's just dumped on them. Now, Sarwar wanted a nice, easy run up to 2026. He was there. This is the thing. 3 months ago, Sarwar was riding high. He was looking at this as a nice little downhill cruise, take your feet off the pedals and enjoy the wind in your hair as you ride all the way into government in 2026. All of a sudden, the wheels have fallen off. It's uphill and it's raining. I mean, this is really bad. This is how bad it is for Labour now. It's so bad that the SNP are doing well, and the SNP are utterly useless. They were so bad, they were looking at a potential fucking wipeout, but not anymore. They're laughing. Now, there's nowhere for Sarwar to go. There's nowhere for Scottish Labour to go. There's no positive announcements he can make. There's no positive spin that he can put on any of this. All those memos, going out saying, look, make sure you don't do anything wrong. Let's do this. Let's cruise in there. Let's do that. Meaningless now. And I tell you who you're not hearing much from. You're not hearing much from Jackie Baillie. I think, and I could be wrong, of course, it's speculation, but I think Jackie Baillie is keeping her powder dry. I think she's sitting back and keeping her mouth shut, and she's letting Anna Sarwar take the heat for this, take all the flack for this, take all the blame for this. And then there'll be, at some point, not too far, an ousting. It will probably be after the 2026 election. They'll keep Sarwar there. He'll lose magnificently, but he will be the one that they can then clean the slate, and they'll have tabula rasa, a nice clean slate with him gone. He'll be taking the blame for all the failure, and then Dame Jackie will take over the party, and she'll take it over from a very low ebb. So whatever happens, it's going to be an uplift for her. And I think that will be the plan. You can smell it in the air. And she's not alone, of course. There's a lot of it in a lot of parties at the moment. A lot of parties are very unhappy with the leadership of their parties. But it's obvious now. Scottish Labour, as well as Labour at Westminster, are completely out of sync with the people. They are not going to do at all well in by-elections, elections, and so forth. They know it. And worst of all, their backbenchers know it. And all the leadership and the cabinet and all the senior party people all know it. There's blood in the water and the sharks are circling, and it won't be long, I think, before the teeth get bared and there'll be man overboard straight into the mouths of all these sharks. But who's going to be overboard first? Sarwar or Starmer? Watch this space. Could be either. Could be both. Someone has got to go. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you later. Bye.